In the 10th year of the Trojan War, the greatest warrior alive withdrew from the war, and let the allies he'd fought beside for 9 years die rather than fight. His name was Achilles. The war would nearly be lost because one king had insulted him in front of his men. The Greeks had been camped outside the walls of Troy for 9 years, laying siege to a city they couldn't break. 9 years of raids on the surrounding towns, 9 years of duels and skirmishes outside Troy's walls that ended in nothing decisive. 9 years of both sides burying their dead and doing it all again. Their deadliest fighter in all of it was Achilles, a man prophecy said could either live a long, forgettable life at home, or die young at Troy with a name that would outlast him. He'd chosen Troy, and for 9 years the armies had bled each other without a decisive victory on either side. Then, the army's supreme commander, Agamemnon, took a war captive as his personal prize, Chryseis, the daughter of a priest of Apollo named Chryses. Her father came to the Greek camp in person, carrying a priest's sacred staff and a rich ransom, and begged publicly for her return. Most of the assembled army murmured that the offer should be accepted. A priest of Apollo wasn't a man to refuse lightly. Agamemnon refused him anyway, in front of everyone, and threatened to have him thrown out of the camp if he came back. The old man walked to the shore alone and prayed to Apollo for justice, reminding the god of every sacrifice he'd ever made in his temple's honor. Apollo answered. For 9 days, his arrows fell invisibly across the Greek camp, striking the mules and dogs first, then the soldiers themselves, and funeral pyres burned continually along the beach. On the 10th day, Achilles called an assembly and asked the prophet Calchas to explain what the army had done to deserve it. Calchas hesitated and made Achilles swear protection before he'd speak, certain the answer would anger the most powerful man in the camp. Then he said it plainly. The plague wouldn't end until Chryseis was returned with no ransom taken for her and a formal sacrifice made to Apollo besides. Agamemnon had no real choice, but he wasn't going to look weak doing it in front of his men. If he had to give up his prize, he announced, he'd simply take someone else's instead, and he said it looking directly at Achilles. He named Briseis, an enslaved captive who had been awarded to Achilles as his own war prize after an earlier raid. Achilles drew his sword to kill Agamemnon on the spot, and the goddess Athena, invisible to everyone else at the assembly, seized him by the hair from behind and stopped him. She promised him something better than a dead king. If he held back now, gifts 3 times the value of what he'd lost would eventually come to him instead. Achilles sheathed his sword, though his hand stayed on the hilt long enough that several men nearby braced for him to draw it again anyway, and told Agamemnon, in front of the entire army, that a day would come when the Greeks would miss him badly, and there would be nothing Agamemnon could do about it. With the quarrel at breaking point, the old counselor Nestor, the most respected elder in the entire army, stood and begged both men to back down, warning that a war within the war would help no one but the Trojans. Neither man fully listened, but the worst of it had already passed. Agamemnon sent heralds to take Briseis. They came to Achilles' tent reluctantly, clearly not wanting the job, and Achilles, rather than blame them for a king's order, allowed Patroclus to hand her over peacefully. Then he did something far more damaging to the Greek war effort than a duel would have been. He pulled himself and every man under his command out of the fighting entirely, and swore he would not lift a weapon for Agamemnon again. The Greeks' single deadliest fighter had just withdrawn from the war, in the middle of a siege they were already struggling to win, over a public humiliation that struck at his honor and status before the entire army. He sat by his ships day after day, in open view of the rest of the army, making his absence as public as the humiliation that had caused it. Chryseis, meanwhile, was loaded onto a ship under Odysseus's command and sailed home to her father, along with a great hecatomb, a formal sacrifice of cattle and goats to Apollo. Chryses accepted her back, offered the sacrifice at the shore with the returning sailors, and the entire crew spent the day feasting and singing hymns to the god they'd just spent 9 days being punished by. Chryses prayed to Apollo a second time, this time asking the god to lift the plague instead of send it. The god listened. The dying stopped almost as suddenly as it had started, but Achilles was already gone from the war by the time the camp recovered. Alone on the beach afterward, humiliated in front of the army he'd spent 9 years fighting beside, Achilles wept and prayed to his mother, the sea goddess Thetis. She rose from the water to comfort him, and he asked her for one specific favor, in return for a life he already knew would be short. He reminded her of an old debt. Once, when the other gods had turned on Zeus and tried to overthrow him, Thetis alone had saved him, calling up a 100-handed giant named Briseis to sit beside Zeus's throne, a guardian so terrifying the other gods backed down without a fight. Now, Achilles wanted that favor repaid. Go to Zeus, he told her, and ask him to let the Trojans win, to let the Greeks be pushed back to their ships and slaughtered without Achilles to save them, until Agamemnon understood exactly what he had thrown away. Thetis waited 12 days before acting. Zeus and the rest of the gods were away, visiting the Ethiopians at the edge of the world for a feast, and there was nothing to do but wait for his return. When Zeus finally came back to Olympus, Thetis knelt before him, one hand on his knee in the ritual gesture of supplication, and appealed to the old service she had once done him. Zeus hesitated for a long moment. He knew what granting it would cost, and he knew exactly how furious it would make his own wife Hera, who favored the Greeks and hated Troy, but he nodded his head in agreement anyway, a single gesture that made all of Olympus shake. When Hera found out, she confronted him bitterly in front of the other gods. Zeus told her plainly to stay out of it, and she backed down, unwilling to push him further. The war Achilles had refused to fight in was about to turn violently against the very men who had insulted him. This was Chronicles.